Hello, geeks and ghouls, and welcome to Zoinks. This is Miss Misery, and I am here with Sam, Ryan, and Alex.
Hola.
What's up?
What's up?
Same as last time, only this time we're on camera.
Hey.
Yo.
Ryan, are your Discord friends watching?
I think one of them just got off of work, so they might start watching here a little bit. One of them's streaming right now in Fortnite, so maybe after he's done.
Cool. All right, so anybody have anything they want to say before? Or actually, hold on, I have to read this thingy. You are listening to KDUX Web Radio, broadcast live from Richland College in Dallas, Texas. We are the voice of Richland College. Disclaimer, views expressed on this show are my own unless otherwise stated and do not reflect the opinion of KDUX Web Radio, Richland College, or the DCCCD, which is a good thing because apparently after our last show, we had people walking around the school debating how many waves of children they could outlast.
Hey.
Wait, we got a new thing on that. Just grab a small child and use him as like a flail and hit all the other kids. You last longer.
You can get like different sized kids. Like if you get a really, really tall kid, that's like one, like think of like a pole arm. You could use them, take out like one or two waves of kids. Or get two really short kids. That's two weapons that you can dual wield the kids. But don't fight kids.
I honestly just wouldn't fight back. I would just let it happen. Be like, well, just make it quick. That's all I ask.
But,
This is my life now.
This is my life now.
Because they're kids.
Just endless waves of kids. Just end me.
And we'll have like boss children. Like after so many waves, there's a boss child. And then after that, it just progressively gets harder.
So how would it be a boss child? Would it be like a really fast child and then a really slow child that explodes or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It'd be like Left 4 Dead except with kids.
Yeah, just think of Left 4 Dead. You got it.
It'd
Yes.
Be a
So there's gonna be like a screaming one.
There'll be a witch too.
Yeah, the screaming one that. Oh Lord.
The witch, a boomer,
Yeah,
a jumper.
I'll just let them come
Ooh.
at me. I'm just like, oh well, my life now. Just kill me.
This is what's happening now.
Yep.
Okay, so let us get started. Today we are opening up with one of my favorite creators like ever, Junji Ito from Japan. Junji Ito is known as like a horror legend over there. I've heard some people even call him the horror god. So we're going to do a brief summary of this man. Junji Ito was born in, I probably am going to butcher this badly, the Gifu Prefecture in 1963, inspired from a young age by his older sister drawing and Kazao Imuzu's comics. He took an interest in drawing horror comics himself. Nevertheless, upon graduating, he trained as a dental technician until the early 90s. He juggled his dental career with his increasingly successful hobby, even after receiving the prestigious Imuzo Prize for horror manga.
You know, if they work around teeth, that's already a big red flag that they do something horror related. They work around teeth.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be comfortable with a horror creator doing my dental work. I already don't trust dentists.
Hey, just think of it this way: you're going to be the inspiration for his next story.
Oh God.
I mean, yeah, but like.
You'll be the next Tommy.
I don't want to be the next Tommy.
Oh Lord.
So following that, we're going to count down from gobiano.com, the top 15 manga written by... Oh no, what? Is it gone now?
Oh no, did you lose your notes, Rose?
The page isn't coming up anymore.
Oh no. See, they heard that you were going to talk about it, and they're like, nope.
They know.
Hold on, I'm going to try and Google this now, because that was a really good list.
Oh, night Google.
Dead Space is a pretty horrifying game.
Yeah, we talked about it last time. Dead Space is kind of creepy.
We didn't talk about. There's like different types of necromorphs, man. Space zombies are cool and all, but like, no.
You know, like a space horror game that I never felt did any justice at all? Alien Isolation.
Found it. Alien
Yes.
Isolation. I actually haven't played any of that yet.
Yeah, Nate.
You ain't missing much.
Okay. So, top 15 Junji Ito manga every horror fan should read. Number 15. This is by gobiano.com, by the way. We are not sponsored by them. We're not sponsored by anybody, even though I have, like, a Mountain Dew every show. Mountain Dew. Sponsor us. Number 15 is Flesh Colored Horror. Flesh Colored Horror is a one-shot story, and if you get queasy over skin peeling, you might want to look elsewhere. The story centers around a kindergarten teacher and an antisocial student. Despite the teacher's efforts, the student has a tendency to scratch the skin off his classmates when provoked. It doesn't help that he has a ghoulish appearance. Without spoiling anything, Flesh-Colored Horror is a twisted look at inner beauty.
Get it? Because he looks like a zombo. And he kills skin.
Yeah. Number 14 is Demon's Voice. Is Ito's take on sirens, which are mythological creatures that lure sailors to their deaths.
Oh, bet.
Sounds interesting
Let me
already.
get a ship. See that? I will put this to the test. Let me get a ship.
We had this conversation earlier about succubi. No, you cannot like outstand them.
Bet.
Let's let Rose finish.
Koji is a new recruit on a fishing boat, but he's come down with seasickness. While he's lying down, the other fishermen hear a loud noise. After waking up, Koji witnesses his coworkers retrieving a net full of horrors. This is the beginning of the fisherman's hallucinations. Number 13 is Dissection Girl. The twisted short story follows a girl who's obsessed with dissection. Ruriko once blackmailed her friend Tetsuro into dissecting small animals with her, but the two had a falling out. 8 years later, she's appeared at Tetsuro's medical school requesting that he dissect her alive.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Ooh, that one sounds nice.
That's a
though.
weird
Yeah.
request.
I mean, different strokes, different folks.
Different strokes.
This one, number 12, is Hanging Balloons. I've seen images of it. I haven't actually read it yet, but it looks really cool. The Hanging Balloons is a disturbing tale about suicide and how it affects large groups. Terumi was a local teen idol, and her suicide has inspired numerous copycat suicides among her fans. Eventually, a ghost mania starts to spread across Japan as people start to see giant balloons shaped as their own heads.
So it kind of like when Justin Bieber was like, "Oh, I'm gonna cut myself," and his fans just started like,
Yeah.
"This is why."
Why do dumb things?
I don't like Justin Bieber for a number of reasons.
That is
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
them.
same.
That is one of them.
Number 11 is Falling. This is another suicide-based short story. A small town has been experiencing a wave of identical suicides that involve hanging. However, a victim named Erica is saved by her husband. After being taken to the hospital, she and other victims begin to float. After being found on a tree, Erica warns her husband that she has witnessed something terrible.
She gets to fly?
I was like, "What's?" Nah, she doesn't get to fly. She gets to float. There's a difference because she doesn't have the
They
like.
all float.
So she doesn't have like
Control.
control, yeah.
Yeah, so she just continuously floats until she either
So she's
catches
kind of like
something.
a jellyfish. She just
Yeah.
floats with the flow, like just goes with the flow.
Yeah, pretty much, and then into the side and then burns.
Probably.
Well, she's not full of helium, is she?
She might be. No, wait, all the other patients are too, because they're all floating.
Yes. Number 10 is Slug Girl. Slug Girl is one of Ito's more famous mangas. Rei notices that her talkative friend Yuko has become unnaturally quiet. After school one day, Rei decides to visit Yuko's house, only to find her parents frantically throwing salt at slugs. After much prying and investigating, Rei learns that Yuko's tongue has turned into a slug.
That's disgusting.
How does that even work?
I don't know,
Like,
but
do you even
you
eat
should
after
see
that?
the picture of this.
Imagine
It's-
making out with your,
it's
like-
really gross.
Ugh.
Oh, imagine just making out with your like partner and then just like
Slug.
all of a sudden slug in your mouth, and you're like, "What is this grossness?" And it's their tongue.
You'd be like, oh,
That is, oh,
that's happening.
Yeah.
That is so
No.
disgusting.
Number 9 is Cat Diary, which I have read. It's one of my favorites. This one is actually not a horror. It's a comedy. It's somewhat of a biography about Ito, his wife, and their 2 cats. But it still uses his signature horror style. So, like, the panels look really weird. Number 8 is The Thing That Drifted Ashore. A gigantic decomposing creature washes up on the Pacific Ocean. Despite its decomposing state, scientists want to preserve it so they can study it. Of note is the creature's transparent skin that lets people look inside its strange body. People begin flocking to the creature for unexplained reasons. They all have shared the same dream that called them there. And it's like a giant centipede thing with a bunch of really gross heads on it.
so the human centipede.
No. Calm down.
We already
No.
have one of these in this
We do
list.
not-
Wait
yeah,
for
we
it.
don't they have 3 movies of those now?
Yeah.
I
Oh
thought
my
it was
goodness.
like 4.
No.
Okay.
No, see, don't see this is
There's
no.
one movie that's in prison, So like.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen one of them, and they weren't as bad as everybody was saying.
Which one
I
did
thought
you?
it was just.
Did you watch
stupid.
the first or the
Yeah,
second
just
one?
watched the first one.
Okay, the second one's twice as bad as the first, at the very least.
It was so boring. I fell asleep. I'm just gonna pass out during the second one.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7 is The Enigma of Amigara Fault. I've actually read this one. It is very creepy. Owaki and Yoshida meet on Amigara Mountain following an earthquake. They discovered that the mountain has countless human-shaped holes carved in the rock face that was exposed by the earthquake. The discovery quickly gains global attention and draws visitors amazed by the spectacle. As people begin to investigate each hole, waves of hysteria overcome them. Basically what happens is while people are looking at these like human-shaped holes, they start noticing that the holes are specifically made to look like each of them.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. And they're like, we have to get into the holes.
So it's kind of like Attack on Titan meets like
Whole.
like not holes, but like the jigsaw puzzles that you like kids use.
Yeah.
So like you have to like fit yourself back into the hole.
Okay, so what? Wait. It might be a spoiler, but what happens if you actually get into the hole? Do you go into like a cave, or do
The hole thins out the further you go through.
Oh,
It's
So-
gross.
So you're permanently falling.
Kind of.
weird? Okay.
Number 6, Army of One. This is the human centipede-ish one.
Haha.
Dead bodies have been discovered sewn together in strange patterns with fishing wire. It's called it's believed the culprit is the Army of One, which is an alleged terrorist group that targets people of lonely hearts. The mystery runs deep as nothing adds up in the series of murder cases.
so you're telling me that they tried to make the human centipede a army weapon? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Yeah, it's a terrorist group apparently doing it.
Ah, see.
Oh, so not a mad scientist.
No.
Hey, this mad scientist can be a terrorist too.
Number 5 is a weird one. The Human Chair, which is an adaptation of an Edogawa Ranpo story. It features an ugly chair maker who makes a luxurious sofa for a new hotel. This manga is eschew with body horror in favor of psychological twists. It will make you uncomfortable no matter where you sit.
So bet.
Oh god, this one's gross.
You okay there, Rose?
The image is the brother leaning over his sister and squeezing his pimples.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah, it's gross. Number 4 is Glaceride. Yeah, it's not for the weakest stomach. Yui and her family live above the restaurant her father owns, but the air is heavy with grease due to poor ventilation. Yui's older brother Goro has developed severe acne from the grease and has formed a bad temper due to the bullying he's endured. Yuro is his victim, and the trial she goes through will make you feel unclean.
Unclean. That's the best word they get to describe that.
She's squeezing pimples over her face. It's,
I kind of want to read it now.
it's you go do
Do
like
you?
I like horror and gore and gross things, so I mean,
Well, that's not
I
really.
don't want to read it.
Mm.
it's gross. Number
That's
3
nasty.
is Tomoe.
Hey.
Hey, I have that one. Sam's been reading it.
Yes, it's
Uh,
actually really good.
Tomoe is the most franchised work in Japan, having inspired a popular movie series centered around his famed character. The story centers around Tomoe, a girl who was brutally murdered after a school trip, but mysteriously returns to school as if nothing has happened. The event deeply troubles her boyfriend and classmates, who slowly go crazy trying to discover if Tomoe is a ghost or a twin or something.
Yeah,
That's only the start.
I got like to page like 300 in this 700-page book. It's really messed up.
Can't she just stay dead? Nobody likes her at this point.
Oh wow.
I felt really
So
bad. Like
hateful, Rose.
the very first part when she dies, I felt bad because I was like, man, nobody likes her. Like they're like, oh, let her die. She's terrible. Just let her die. Nobody cares about her. We'll back you up. You didn't push her off the ledge. No.
So like in the book, I'm guessing she tries to kill back.
No.
No.
No,
Not
she
at
just
all.
takes it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Girl,
gonna discuss.
girl, stand up for yourself.
No, wait. We'll discuss the book after all this stuff,
Oh, okay.
and then I'll tell you a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Number
Alright.
2 is Jayo. This one gave me nightmares. It is probably one of the most popular books he's done. The story centers around the death stench, which is a revolting odor that comes from dead fish with sharp metal legs in them. Slowly, larger sea creatures infected with the death stench appear and begin threatening humans. What follows is one of the most disturbing and bizarre stories you'll ever read.
Is this the shark one?
Yeah.
Oh, that one was very disturbing.
Yeah.
I like saw a quick like animation of it. I was very disturbed. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah. And then number 1 is Uzumaki, which is definitely, I think, the most well-known one he has. Kurozuchao, I totally butchered that. Kurozuchao is a cursed coastal town. According to Shuchi Sato, the town is haunted by the spiral. The hypnotic shape manifests in different ways and spreads unescapable madness. This iconic work is a special treat that will twist your mind just right. And then, like, that's the image for it, is her head is a...
It's a spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the top 15 Junji Ito manga you should read, and I completely agree. So we're going to talk about Tomoe now.
Oh,
Or
man.
Tomi? Tomi. It's Tomi.
Tomi?
I think it's Tomi.
Something.
Something.
Tomie. Tomi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Tomei, depending on where you go to the narrative. I don't know. Like, on the website I was on, it was spelled differently, like 3 different times.
So I was like, but on the book it says IE.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that's the right spelling. Okay.
Unless if the people that
Or
translate the
we
book
can
are
just blame English.
Yeah, I was like, or if the people don't know.
Canon.
Yeah.
We can just blame English.
No.
I'm just gonna blame
It's
English.
canon.
No.
So, yeah, Tomi, again, is about... The story starts with Tomi being killed by her... Or coming back to the school after her classmates kill her.
Dismember her as well.
Yeah, dismember her as well.
Yeah, her boyfriend finds out like she's
Cheating on him with their teacher.
Yeah, and she's like, I think I'm pregnant. When are you gonna marry me? And she falls off the ledge, and the whole class is like, oh, nah, fam, we got your back. You Gucci. You didn't do this. She was a terrible human being to begin with.
All right then.
Yeah.
Well,
So they just stripped off their clothes and dismembered the body.
And then they were like, they looked at her best friend who got involved, and they were like, you are her best friend, so we're going to give you her heart.
Here's
and
your heart. Do something
you
with
get
this."
rid of that part.
these are children
Yeah, they
they're
all
like-
took
and not
pieces.
devil worshippers.
Correct. No, they all took a piece of her. So there was 27
Why?
days, and so they dismembered her 27 times. And so they all took
Why?
a piece to like scatter, so nobody could find her
No.
body, so nobody could
Mm.
link her.
That is the stupidest
And so they
thing.
looked at her best friend and was like, "Oh, here's your heart." And then they were like, "Oh man, these big intestines are really big. What do we do with this?"
Right. I feel sorry for whoever had to
Yeah.
deal with her bladder.
They no like
which one in the group had to deal with that one?
I don't know.
I'll take the
But-
bladder. Nah, fam. Go sit down. I'm taking the bladder. You get her pancreas.
No, they were like, "Hey, don't forget her pancreas." And then somebody was like, "Ah, I think she ate a sandwich. There's carrots in her stomach." It was great.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
But like in every chapter, she's being killed.
Although, as the story progresses,
So if I flip the one page in the book right now, I can see a thing. Okay, she's gonna
yeah,
hand me the book
Sam's
now,
like
y'all.
pulling out the book.
Bet.
Oh Lord, God, why is it so big?
Now I got her doing it.
So okay, so random page.
Random page.
Okay.
I see a little boy. He's looking at. I think is it the heart or something? Oh, that's a face. It's a scarred.
from her. That's not one of.
It's
the
her
pieces of the
scarred
body.
face. That's so messed up. And he, like this little boy's just like, what in the world?
Yeah, and then that little boy's probably now in a trance and is in love
All
with
right,
her.
so
Yeah.
test number 2. So another like just random page. Is this hair?
Yes, yes, it
Why is
is.
she growing hair on her face and neck?
Because Japan has
Like
a
I
good
can
obsession with
understand
hair.
like maybe a mustache or something.
Okay,
but
no, it
like,
comes. Okay, so that piece of the head probably came out from like her cranium, some part of her cranium, because when it does it, it grows like hair. It has hair on its face and neck and body.
Sam hasn't reached that part. Basically, what it is this girl like takes the hair and sticks it on her face.
Oh,
Yeah,
that-
it's
that's
gross.
gross.
That's nasty.
But
She's not
yeah,
dying this
she
one.
like she keeps getting killed over and over again, and like in the first story you feel bad for her, and in the second story you're like, and then like as the story progresses you're like, she's a really horrible person actually.
Nah, she Gucci.
Look, being murdered.
See, now you're just fishing.
But
Being
it's a really good
murdered.
story. I enjoyed it. It did mess me up.
I mean,
quite a few times.
it sounds pretty interesting. Will I ever read it?
Probably not.
Probably not. But it sounds very interesting.
It is like it's a huge book. It's a huge. That's disturbing. Read, but it's actually pretty entertaining and fascinating for how many times she can multiply. She's like a starfish.
Yeah, basically, in the first, which does make you wonder if when she got murdered by her classmates was the first time she ever got killed or not, because every piece they cut her up from and like threw away, more of her grew out of those pieces.
Even like her blood. If you cut her arm and she just bleeds, that blood will turn into her.
Yeah.
That's just insanitary.
So, like, it makes you wonder if, like, that was the first time she got murdered and all this just happened, or if this was, like, some other Tomei.
And imagine, what if she was doing it to herself? She could become her own army and take over the world.
She could, but the problem with that is she's so self-centered that when there's more of her going
she
around,
just burns it with
they
acid.
try to kill each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she came back, like, she went into a human girl's, like, body for a little while, and they took her out. The doctor's like, no, fam, we messed up, my bad, and cut her out. And they took her head and, like, her spleen with her, and they put them in 2 different tanks, and she burnt the spleen because she was like, no, I can only be one.
Yeah. She's a really messed up girl.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for her as the series continues.
I mean, I don't know what chapter I'm actually on. It's just called The Painter.
Oh, yeah.
But so far, I still kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm like, you're bringing this upon yourself, fam.
Yeah.
This is all you.
Okay, so that's Junji Ito and Tomei, and go read his stuff. Sam, Ryan, you guys have a killer for us today?
Okay, so we had 2, but we're only going to really go over 1 because the other one we decided needs his own.
Yeah,
own
I
section.
was looking into the other one because Samantha found hers, and then he apparently modeled what he was doing after the other guy, and so I was researching the other guy, and the other guy has a very just absolutely insane backstory, and he we'll go over it like very, very lightly today, but next week we'll go more in depth in it because he's on a whole nother level. I'm just like,
He's
woof.
like a 10 out of 10 on crazy, and my guy's like maybe a 5.
Ah.
Yeah, Samantha is pretty tame compared to this guy.
Oh yeah. Even last week, no, was the Beast.
The Beast was pretty messed up too.
I was like, but I don't think he was as messed up as yours.
I don't know. He killed a lot of children.
He killed. He claims over
He killed a
400.
lot of children, Samantha. I'm pretty sure that dictates that he is pretty messed up.
Okay, fair point. Okay, so I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, and I feel really bad.
I mean, there's no reason to stop butchering stuff now. Rose is done.
I'm not the butcher.
Yeah, I've kind of like destroyed all of the names.
It's okay.
No reason to stop now.
It's just English.
So last week we were in Colombia, and so this week we're in Russia with Alexander Pichushikian, aka the chessboard killer. Okay, so the chessboard killer was caught in Moscow and was convicted in 2007 of killing 48 people.
Ooh.
Following his arrest, police discovered a chessboard with dates on all but 2 of the squares, apparently connected to the murder he committed. Due to the gruesomeness and number of murders, Russia considered reinstating the death penalty.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was very fun.
That sounds very fun.
He was convicted of 52 murders in 1992. Andre Chikatilo, which is who he decided to start competing with. So Andre's conviction is what really started the chessboard's killers' all motives.
Wow.
Yeah. Andre is actually Ryan's serial killer.
Yeah, so let's just say that he lived from October 16th, 1936 to February 14th, 1994. His entire life was just absolute roller coaster. He started off in poverty, literally feeding off of grass and leaves and whatever they could grow in their backyard to sustain themselves. World War II happened and all that good stuff, so he had to deal with that. His mother had to deal with German soldiers. He had a sister. He had a whole slew of problems. And it's his story alone is just incredible. Not the good kind, by the way. It's a very bad kind of incredible. But he was also known as the Butcher, the Red Ripper, or just the Rostov Ripper. That Russian name I just totally murdered. But
Rostove? I don't know.
Rostove.
Something.
There's no E or A after it, so
It's okay, you're talking about the butcher, and you're just butchering everything.
yeah. There you go. Thank you, good sir.
Rostov?
But he committed sexual assault, murder, and mutilation of at least 52 women and children between 1978 and 1990 in the Russian U.S. or the Russian FSR, the Ukrainian SSR, and the Uzbek SSR.
Bless you.
Bless you,
Thank
Rose.
you.
He confessed to a total of 56 murders, but was only tried for 53. He was sentenced. Of course, he was sentenced to death for the 52, and these murders were all in like October of 1992.
So he confessed to 56.
He
Mhm.
confessed to 56.
And then they were like, okay, fam, we're going to charge you for the 53. Forget about the other 3. We're going to charge you for the 53.
Well, if they have no evidence of the other 3, they can't convict you of
Right.
it. They have to have hard evidence that you actually killed them. Because I could be like, oh, I've murdered 12 people, but there's no evidence I've murdered those 12 people,
Well,
so
then
they
again-
can't convict me of it.
Then again,
Yeah.
that's the laws here too. It could be different in Russia, and they could just have different laws and all that good stuff.
And
But
then-
we could
Yeah, we
assume
all
that's
know
similar.
Russia.
52, he was convicted for the 52. So not only did those other 3 were like, just, yeah, we're going to rub those off. And then they rubbed another 2 off. No, another 1 off. And they were like, okay, this amount, yeah, this forget them.
So
These 52, yeah.
what's really interesting a part of the story too is that he actually went to jail at one point, right? But he was only sentenced to 1 year, and he got out in 3 months based on good behavior. But the reason he was sent to jail the first time was because he stole supplies from a company, and that was the only reason. But during this time, secretly, he was doing all of, the whole mutilating and murder and sexual assault and all that good stuff. But we will save for next week. We will get into much more depth into that because he has a very interesting story all by himself. But Samantha, do you have any other information on your checkerboard?
Yes, so when my chessboard, by the way, not checker.
Oh.
The chessboard killer started after Chikatilo's trial in 1992. That's when he committed his first murder. He was just a teenage boy when he shoved his friend out off of a balcony, right? Out of a window.
Some friend.
Yeah, he just shoved him right out the window, and it looked like a suicide. He was like interviewed about it and everything, but like police was like, "Oh, nah, fam, it's just a suicide." And he later confessed in a television confession saying that this first murder, it's like your first love. It's unforgettable.
Oh God.
Yeah. He's a little cringeworthy, but at the same time.
Oh, 4chan was,
Yeah.
that 4chan did a whole
4channel.
His murderous impulses lay dormant for years until he began killing people on Moscow's, I'm going to butcher this one as well, Besvetsky Park in the early 2000s. He would target elderly and like mentally challenged like people. He would lure them to his dog's grave in the park with the like talk of like drinking. Now there is some like truth to this story. He did start suffering from massive depression when his grandfather died because his grandfather and him are very close. And so like during the time his grandfather was alive, he didn't take action on any of his killing like urges because he loved his grandfather and didn't want to cause him any harm. When the grandfather died, the urges came apparent and he was really depressed, so he got a dog. Nobody knows exactly what happened to the dog, whether he killed the dog just died, whatever, and nobody knows if in fact the dog is actually buried in the park. But he says the dog is buried in the park. That's where he buried him and would take people to the same spot every time. At first his like killing sprees were not as like vulgar and violent. He would, intoxicate the person and then take them off someplace very quiet and like solitary, and then would beat them over the head with like metal pipe or something very hard, and would like then he would throw their bodies into a sewage drain.
Ugh.
The bad part about this is some people were still alive when he threw them in.
Oh.
So they
God.
drowned in sewage because they were
Ew.
still like, their brains are bashed in and they're still
That's
somehow
so
alive.
gross.
They're just drowning in sewer.
I'm having heavy rain flashbacks.
I'm sorry.
I remember playing Heavy Rain, and I played it for the first time, and I was so bad to my son. I was so bad to him in the beginning, and then all I remember is that I fell asleep with the controller in my hands, and I don't know how I did it, but I fell asleep, and my friend was just watching me as I was sleeping, and I was like moving the controller, and he was like, "You were playing it while you were sleeping?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, you got 2 levels in." I was just like, "Oh, you play. I'm going to bed."
Gamers.
Gamers have some issues.
Okay. Are we going to move on to the rake now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So, we are also going to be discussing one of our favorite creepypasta characters, the Rake.
Wait a minute. Is this that tall gray thing that if you like leave a door open or something, it'll walk in your house and like touch your face or something?
Excuse me?
It wouldn't touch your face. It would.
Let him step in my house and I'll stomp him out.
Bet. There you go.
Let
Bet.
him step in my house. I'm stomping it out.
Sure you will.
Okay, so we
Sure.
will end this with the rake. Okay, so here we have the rake on the Creepypasta Wiki. During the summer of 2003, events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in rural New York State and once found in Idaho, home of the potato. Self-proclaimed witnesses told stories about their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions are no longer on record, the memories remain powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating between the 12th century and the present day, spanning 4 continents in almost all cases. The stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book. And then there's like a lot of these. So we'll do like probably the first 2.
I'm telling you, pit me up against the rake. It's over. It's gonna lose. I'm gonna stomp it out. It's in a game.
Yeah,
Dude.
as long as you believe in the me that believes that she doesn't believe in you, but you believe in yourself, I think you'll be fine.
All I need is me. All Alex needs is Alex.
Yeah.
You know,
The rake's gonna just walk up to you and slice you in the face really hard,
I
and you're
would
just gonna
call-
stand there.
Isn't that what cats do anyway?
Pretty much.
See, then we're all used to it.
Yeah,
Then we don't have
but
anything
wait.
to fear.
But here's the thing: he's like a really tall, very slender, naked man that looks kind of alienish and very like skin and bone, but his fingers are like literally claws, like long, massive. Have you played Left 4 Dead? You remember the witch with
Yeah.
her like long,
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, imagine those hands.
On
So,
a-
Alex, you
On a
did.
naked old man that's like really tall.
and really, really skin because he's like just bone and skin.
See.
There's not much known about him.
See, I got a
Guys, it looks here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
bet. Yeah, I got a
Ex-
brick with its name on it.
A brick's not gonna do anything.
Okay.
Bet?
Yeah.
Bet? Your
Yes.
boy Alex is dangerous with a brick.
Hey, it
Oh,
could
really?
be
I think
a,
anything
hey,
is.
it could be a holy brick doused in holy water. You don't know.
We don't know if holy water's gonna work on that though.
You might as well try.
Okay, so
My friend is listening in and he's laughing currently at Alex. He's like, bet I'm gonna stomp him.
I'm gonna stomp him out. Bet. See, I don't even need that brick. I'm gonna put holy water on my hands.
but
who says holy water hurts
We
him?
don't know if holy
You
water
won't
works.
know until you try.
Yeah, and then you're gonna
I
hit
mean,
him and
it-
he's gonna be like, oh, that was refreshing.
I mean, you might as well
Every
try.
man
See,
hybrid gang,
I am
hear
with
that
you on
out.
this.
Try some holy water,
Tr-
fam.
like when in doubt, holy water, right?
And then when it doesn't work, you die.
Right. See,
Okay.
I mean, if holy water's not gonna help, what
See,
will?
I got pocket sand. What is it gonna do to pocket sand?
Pocket sand.
Hey, we can make that holy sand.
Nah,
Okay.
I just draw across them.
My friend says you're gonna get stomped instead of actually doing the stomping.
Oh, bet?
Yeah.
Oh, bet. It's down. Alex versus the Rake, 2018. Let's get it.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we gotta find him and be like, hey, Rake, so this guy named Alex wants to take you on with some, like holy sand and holy water and a brick. Okay? So
holy brick.
Oh, my bad. A holy
There you
brick that's
go.
been like blessed by a priest and, the bishop and everything. So when that doesn't work, can you just not like fully kill him? Can you leave him slightly alive?
Just
Thanks,
so we can
fam.
say I told you so.
Say that. You'll be like, Rake, leave him alive. And I'll be like, oh, I don't need
See,
to be
this
alive.
this
But we
all
want to tell you, I told you so.
this all goes back to where you send that nice heartfelt letter to the demon thing or whatever with a carrier pigeon.
Oh yeah, we were talking.
We talked about this
carrot pigeons
earlier. We talked
Nah,
But not on air.
Nah, fam. I
Oh.
wouldn't send it with a carrier pigeon. I'd
because
like,
pigeons
kiss
are
the letter.
holy.
See, I'll kiss the letter.
That's
and
doves.
then send it with a carrier pigeon.
Okay, carrier doves. Rose.
Okay, so here's one of them. It's a suicide note of 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form, once again I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever awake. Goodbye. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope.
Rose, why you get a
You gonna
random
die,
note from
Rose.
I'm
somebody?
gonna die.
Rose, please be careful. That rakes them,
Yeah.
serious.
Oh, I
I'll be
got you,
careful.
Rose. I got you.
Yeah, he got that brick for you, Rose. He got it ready for you.
This is, Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. That's not uncomfortably creepy.
Just be like, hey, so I had a dream about you, and this rake guy said your name, and I'm pretty sure he's coming to kill you.
Yeah. A journal entry translated from Spanish in 1880. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. Unintelligible text.
Huh.
Yeah. And then, Mariner's Log, 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again, at request of the rake.
Let the rake, I'm telling you, let the rake step to
Let
me.
the wreck.
Let it step to me. Alright?
Travis says you're just gonna get stomped really gruesomely, and then he's
Oh,
gonna
bet.
even come down himself and be
bet.
like, told you so.
Oh, bet? How much we betting? I will win a fight against the rake. I'm not.
I will
Okay.
bet your life. There.
All right. Now,
Why
some
would you bet?
people might be confused. I found the Slenderman history for the rake. Also, here's another. Just
Oh,
waking up to that.
that's
what
one of
is
his French
that
girls
being-
paintings.
Maybe like one of your French
For those that are not watching the video, just think of paint me as one of your French girls, and there's just a naked old man demon on a bed.
like
That's
black
what we're
horseshoe.
look. That's what we just saw.
Okay. The rake is the name of a creature with very little information about it. It is described by original reports as a naked man or a large, hairless dog of some sort, with a body position that seemed unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. The rake's only appearance in a video is through Slender Vlog Everyman Hybrid, very good series, go watch it, where it is captured on film twice and heard at least once. In relation to Slenderman, the rake is speculated to be a proxy that has, through mutation, the strange power Slenderman seems to possess and share, or perhaps by self-mutilation somehow changed over time into a creature bearing little resemblance to a human being. This would explain why it is able to interact physically with its surroundings and victims without needing the aid of a human being, unlike other canon characters. It could also be speculated from this theory that there is not or has not always been one rake, as it even today has been known to operate across several countries and has witnessed encounters from hundreds of years ago. The rake's name refers to its hands, which appear to be very large claws. It is capable of inflicting serious damage to a victim in seconds and is extremely violent. Not only is the rake dangerous, but it is also silent, capable of slipping into the sleeping room of a victim unnoticed.
Oh, I'll have it make a sound.
Are you just gonna do like the Home Alone thing and just like booby trap your entire household? Oh, you don't need. Oh, you just need the brick.
Just the brick.
Just the brick. Okay.
And just holy sand. Don't forget the sand.
The holy sand, the holy pocket sand.
Doorway. When it rolls up, I'm gonna be like, I've been waiting for you.
The rake appears to prefer killing its victims when they are completely oblivious to its presence, typically while they are sleeping, and its accepted MO of killing is lacerating its target's to death, causing them to die of blood loss or dismemberment in a gory fashion. The rake's apparent method of travel is teleportation, meaning it can materialize in any unseen location via a portal.
Hey, so you won't even know. You'd be standing in your doorway
bet.
just
He could be standing
waiting,
behind you right
and then
now.
he'd just be standing right
bet.
behind you, and he'd be like,
Oh,
dead.
He could be right
Yes.
behind you right now. Are you ready with that brick? Where's it at?
Where's the holy sand?
Is it over here?
Trust and believe. I got my brick.
Where? Where's the holy brick?
You don't
You
need
got
to
that
do that.
priest and the bishop that were like, go,
Already
ha.
been blessed. Already been blessed. You don't need to know where it's at. Just know I got it.
But if he's right behind you and you don't get your
Oh.
brick,
Somebody's knocking now, you guys.
Oh no.
maybe it's the rake. Maybe it's finally come for you.
Ooh.
But wait, I don't think that it would knock.
You never know.
Wouldn't it just like
I like how somebody just knocked and just. I feel
Oh.
like.
They're knocking again.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh man.
Ooh,
Oh.
maybe the Ray got some manners and wants to come on the podcast too and be like, listen, fam.
Let's
Listen.
clear this up with the brick, shall we?
Nah, we're gonna clear-
And the holy sand.
You see, it's got long fingers. Well, I got hands to throw, alright? I got hands that's gonna catch.
You got some hands, but you it'll catch them. But it's gonna slice them off too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It will catch my hand.
It'll be like, right when you like starting to like
alarm,
throw
it's
a
not
punch.
the rake.
Aw, man.
man.
Although
You get my
in
hopes up for nothing,
Every
Rose.
Man Hybrid, Evan goes to fight the rake, cuts off its arm or something, and it just regenerates.
So
That's no fun.
so it's another Tommy, but a
Right.
less attractive Tommy.
Yes, exactly.
Cause like that thing coming to like
What if
harm
I
you and you cut
its
them off.
arm and then proceed to beat it with its arm?
It doesn't matter. It'll
With
just
its
still
own arm?
regenerate.
Yep.
It'll regenerate. Then you're dealing with two of them.
Nah, I'm just beating it with its arm.
Yeah, but the arm is going to turn into another race.
It's
So,
like
like-
it's like Breath of the Wild when you attack one of the skeleton monsters, then you just pick up its arm and starts hitting.
Yo, for real though.
So that is our creepypasta of the week. Next week we are actually okay. You know that band I was playing last week,
Yes.
James's band,
Yes.
Fun for Amy. They will be coming to talk to us next week and play us a little song here.
Well, that's cool.
Cool.
Yes. So we will have James Huff and his bandmate playing music for us.
Alright, if the rake is listening to this, like, catch me outside. alright?
He will, and then he'll
Oh my
slice
God.
you to tiny
Catch me outside.
pieces. How about that? He's going to cut you into
Alex,
tiny
This
pieces.
is the rake, 2018. Catch me outside.
The rake will literally like.
How much battery you have on your phone? Because I have enough to last me all day with recording. I'll take your phone too. I'll double record it for you, bro.
I got like 39,
Whoa,
but you know
stop.
we can still record on my phone just
I
a
meant
little bit.
92.
You
We got
bet
so many
92.
phones to record this whole thing, but you know what? It's not going to be allowed to be. It has to be censored because you're just going to be torn into tiny little bits and pieces.
I don't think I'm the one y'all should be worried about.
Yes,
I'm not the
I
one
I
that should
think
be
we need to worry about you.
If these
You
rings
wanna-
come off, I'm throwing hands.
Okay, hold up. Quick
It's
thing. We
over
were
for
talking
you.
about succubi earlier,
Oh lord.
and he doesn't think that he can. He thinks he can withstand their like alluring.
Succubiness.
Yeah, their succubiness. You know, when you get like transfixed and you just can't
You just
help
wants to
but
throw a
like fall in
brick at
love with them. He thinks he can like withstand that, just like he thinks he can withstand the sirens' musics and not go and die.
I'll slap a siren in the face.
Dude, a
gotta
siren sings
get
about
there.
whatever you want. If you want cookies,
It'll
They'll
sing
be-
about having cookies.
What if the siren sings about me? What if that's what I want?
It'll sing,
It'll
about,
sing about
you.
you.
Have you never read the Odyssey? Did your school deprive you of the Odyssey? Are you serious?
Nah, not really.
Okay, then he wanted to hear a song about him. They sang him a song about him.
Cool. I still punch a siren in the face.
You couldn't. They'd be too alluring. You'd literally be in a trance.
that's how it works, man.
This is mythology here.
I'm here to break the rules. I am.
There is no rules in
I am
mythology.
the exception. I am the exception.
Oh gosh. So yeah, next week we're gonna have Fun for Amy, and we're gonna talk about Ryan's killer, the butcher.
Yes.
Yes.
The butcher.
And Alex
Who?
is gonna fight a siren, a rake, and any other mythological creatures that wants to step to me.
Fun.
Mothman.
Dude, Mothman
My-
would be.
my friend says
Mothman's
it's
good.
not
have
possible
you
'cause
not
you're a
played
man, by the
Dream
way.
Daddy? Mothman is
Oh,
trash.
Yeah.
Oh, bet.
Yeah.
I will put money on that.
I put money on it too. I'll put my entire paycheck.
We don't make a lot.
Wow,
All out the company
Wow.
on the podcast, Rose.
Wow.
Not wise advice.
Wow, Rose.
They don't know what company.
Think of any mythological creature and or horror creature thing. Jeepers Creepers? Yeah, I smack him in the face.
Well, that's understandable. That one's easy to, there's not a trance. You don't get in a
Jeepers
trance with that
Creepers.
one. And it's been proven that you could, like, attack him.
What if I wear shades that have mirrors on them?
It doesn't work like that, fam.
Shades with mirrors and then earphones that reflect sound. Yeah, you just want some of those? Okay. Well,
Okay, so see,
we'll
the
get the
headphones
research and
might
development department right on that.
So yeah, until we can figure out something else, we're only gonna have an hour-long podcast now because teachers.
Teachers.
I would say we could do it tomorrow, but I have classes at 12, and the only like back to back is 12 to 1, unless y'all want to get up at 10 in the morning and be here.
Oh no,
We'll
no,
figure
no.
something out.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have fun for Amy. We'll have the butcher. If we have time, we might try to cover binge round. If not, we'll do that one the week
And
after.
Alex versus
fine by me.
mythology. Let's get it.
Oh my lord.
That should be the question of the week. What mythology? Like, what is
Put
your?
a hydra and a headlock.
What would be like?
You would die.
Hold up. What would be the one like mythological creature you think you would have the hardest time fighting? Don't say none of them.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
not
make that a
allowed.
weekly thing. Pick a mythological creature. Tell us how you're gonna fight it, and if anyone's listening, draw us fan art.
I was like, we need a website so we can put like polls up. Like, who do you think Alex would like be defeated by?
I'll just make
Or-
a Twitter. It'll be fine. It'll be Gucci.
That'll be good too.
Alex
And then
versus mythology. That's what this is.
yes, and put like Alex versus mythology. Who would actually kill Alex, or would Alex win? See how many people actually believe you.
No one
Or
votes for you.
Yeah,
just die.
everybody votes for the
I don't
mythological
need anybody
creature.
to believe in me. I got me.
'Cause
will
I-
call my
As far
client.
as I know, a lot of people like Cerberus.
Does anybody actually like study like mythology
You
in this
see-
school?
you
Like,
bring up
we
Cerberus.
need somebody that
Oh, I wouldn't even fight Cerberus. I just pat it on the head. We good.
somebody
Give it a
that's
stick.
literally going to class for mythology. We
Oh,
need you to
yeah.
come and actually have a conversation with Alex as to why he would lose, please. Please, fam.
But but on that note, if you actually want to argue with Alex, like, you put any monster against me, I'ma smack it in the face.
Yeah, and then you're going to lose the arm or the hand, and then you're going to die.
Oh, bet.
Or you'd
Yeah.
already be dead, and you just smacking in the face would be like your imagination while
Yeah,
you're dead.
like in your own little heaven world, you could be like smacking him, but in reality, you would be just dead on the floor in a pool of blood.
Disclaimer: don't be like Alex. Don't go trying to fight supernatural entities.
Yeah,
please.
don't do it. You're not Alex. You're not Dean. You're not Sam. You're Alex.
Yeah, I don't need to be Sam or Dean. I'm Alex. I got me. dude.
You know what, man? You got this.
See,
You
y'all
do
talking
it,
about
man.
Y'all talking about something I might need. This holy stuff? Nah.
Okay,
fam.
so we take away
All
the
I need-
brick, the
all I
sand,
need
and the
is
water.
these mitts and a brick.
Well,
So
I hope
he
you get to
needs the
keep those
brick.
mitts through some of these fights.
Oh, I will. I
No,
will
they'll be
definitely.
bitten off.
Oh, bet?
Yeah.
Let some try to bite.
A
me.
Cerberus
I'm
would
not
bite
gonna
off your
follow
hands.
people.
Hydra, would, just eat
Bite.
you.
Yeah.
I told
just,
you,
like,
I put a
eat you
hydra in
whole.
a headlock. Don't at me.
It's too big for a headlock.
Oh, bet?
Yeah.
Bet?
Its head is bigger than you.
I like how I wish the camera.
Alex is
I wish
wearing-
like it
That
would just
face.
look at his
Oh
face
my
real quick.
God.
Like
Let a
look at the
griffin-
camera
let a
and show
griffin-
your.
let a
You're like,
griffin-
do it.
Let a griffin step to me. I'm punching it in
What
the
about
face.
hippogriff?
I will punch it. Repeatedly.
Why you gotta
Don't
fight the
at me.
hippogriff, man?
What? Yeah, you do realize that is like one of the most docile creatures.
I don't care.
He's ju-
Unicorn, a unicorn steps to me, I'm breaking off its horn.
Y'all forget to realize what we do on this show. We just talk about horror and serial killers and all that good stuff.
And
And Alex
Fighting
fights
And
me.
we have proven through the first episode that you don't know who you meet on the street. so Alex could be that Greek mythological creature killing man. We don't know.
We do know.
No,
also
we don't know
fights
nothing.
children.
Yes,
he fights
he
children.
also fights children in
mythology.
waves.
Uh-oh.
So now, how many waves of children and mythological creatures can you handle?
7.
7.
You went
Seven.
up
So
from
wait.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dang.
Okay, so wait.
Mythological creatures in there. I can stomp out a mythological creature. Don't know.
All of them.
All of them?
All of them.
Like,
What
at
about
the same
what
time?
about the ones that aren't mythological and they're real?
I will football punch. Okay, wait, no, I won't.
You'll.
In the context of the situation, if I was fighting kids, yes, I would football punch the kids because I'm defending myself.
Yeah, but that's not going to do anything unless if they're a small child.
If they're coming at me,
But a football punch's not going to do anything.
yes, it will. It's gonna knock them down. And I'm gonna pick them up and use them to beat the mythological.
Okay, so a child. Okay, so how old are you?
I am, yes.
Okay,
That's a great answer.
Let's just say, okay, at minimum, let's just say you're 18. A child can still be a 13-year-old. Doesn't have to be 6-year-old or 4-year-old.
Like I said, I'm a
Each
football
wave, they get older.
Yes.
Oh, so they start at level 1, meaning that they're 1 year old.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
You see,
Pet
Rose
Cemetery,
said,
man.
Rose said draw fan out of this. I don't want I don't want to see me using a 1-year-old.
I can see someone photoshopping that someone would be me. You would like a child just like swing it, and you're like on top of like a mound of children, and they're like crawling up your leg.
Now I want to see fan art of me.
Oh, I feel like
I
this
can
is
make
just
it
gonna be an
possible.
ongoing thing within this podcast. It's just fighting
It's
children.
like every podcast is gonna be like, Alex, all right, I got a werewolf. What you gonna do? Man, I'm gonna punch it in the mouth.
My friend has a question for you.
All right.
Could you take on a hobbit?
I'd rip off a hobbit's leg.
With or without the ring.
With the ring.
Oh, bet.
I got glasses for a reason. I can see it.
But he doesn't. He has no
He
glasses.
gonna die then.
Oh, I have glasses. I'm just not wearing them.
Yeah, he doesn't wear his glasses
Oh.
most of the time.
Okay, then
You
he'll
should
be
wear
fine.
glasses. Then we all have glasses.
Yeah.
Then he'll be fine.
Glasses, gang. Yes.
Exactly.
Subscription, fam.
I just they're in my bag. I'm not wearing them. I have glasses.
Just
I
next time. Next time.
will
And then we'll all just be glasses.
Yeah. Before we go though, I have to shout out Moon Moon. Moon
Oh
Moon.
yeah, your friend.
Is
Yeah,
he listening?
I don't know. I don't know if he's at work or not, but he said that I didn't shout him out last time because I didn't read his message fast enough, so I got to shout him out this time. So, hi Moon Moon.
Nobody seems to be online in yours anyways.
Well, that's
so.
rude.
And anyone listening, if you want to pit me against any mythological creature, you can. Think about that. I will stomp out any mythological creature.
So here's something. Like, if y'all actually want a Twitter page or something, tell Alex. And then Alex can post it in our little group chat and be like, we got to make this happen. And then we'll have Ryan make it happen.
Yeah, I was about to
So
say,
you can
Ryan,
ask us
get on that
questions.
Twitter.
If you want this, like, we'll get something set up to where you can ask me what I would do.
You can
against
ask.
mythological
You can ask
Yeah.
live questions. We'll have some live polls. Like, all right, while he's talking about this, let me get that poll
let's
going.
get the poll going and everybody go vote. And then at the end of the show, we'll have like an answer as to whether you could beat somebody or not.
Yes.
Oh, I will.
And he will. Okie dokie, guys. So we are out of time. So yeah, next week, fun for Amy, the butcher, and maybe or maybe not been drowned. And Alex, I want like a full-on like summary of how you're gonna fight.
Oh, bad? Cool. I can do
So, remember, you are listening to KDUX Web Radio, broadcast live from Richland College in Dallas, Texas. We are the voice of Richland College. Views expressed on this show are my own unless otherwise stated and do not reflect on the opinion of KDUX Web Radio, Richland College, or the DCCCD because they don't want us fighting children. I am Miss Misery, and stay out of the daylight.